Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting edition of our learning series. Today, we are going to be talking about passing your foreign HR certifications at one attempt. Of course, I put it to us that the principles and concepts that will be shared here will be applicable to any other exams and any other high-stake activity in life. Today, I have the honor and privilege of having one of my very good professionals and partners, Mr. Ugochukwu Nwalele, and he has a very broad range of experience. He finished from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi, and he also has a master's degree from the University of Port Harcourt. He has been in this business of managing certifications both in HR, safety, and other allied aspects. I won't want to say too much about it. They say the taste is in the pudding. Please welcome Mr. Ugochukwu Nwalele. Thank you for joining us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Liemi. I'm grateful. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great. So my name once more is Ugochukwu Nwalele. Mr. Liemi has told you a little about me. I've been in the business of training and certification for close to a decade. And the experiences I'll share with you this evening is one that I've shared with thousands of my students, and they've been successful in all they do. So I'll first begin by sharing my screen. Confirm that you can see my screen. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So if you have any question, kindly just put your questions in the chat box. At the end of my presentation, I'll create room for questions and answer. So I would try to respond to all the questions in the chat box. If you need to comment, kindly raise up your hands. You're all welcome. The founder, Clarion College, and this evening, like you heard, I'll be discussing with us passing foreign HR certification in one attempt. Okay, HR certifications in one attempt. All right, so first of all, I believe that if not 100% of us in this meeting are Nigerians, at least 90 to 99% are.
Hello, sir, your screen is not showing, sir.
Oh, my screen is not showing. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, but not full screen.
Yeah, you will see full screen. Can you see now?
Fantastic.
Great. So I believe that if not all of us are Nigerians living in Nigeria, a good number of us in this meeting. So first of all, why do you, and I believe that most people in this meeting are either practicing HR professionals or aspiring HR professionals. Why do you as a Nigerian in Nigeria, why do you need foreign HR qualification? You know, why is it relevant? I mean, you would agree with me that there is globalization. The world is getting flat by the day. The past 5 years, many Nigerian companies, I mean, Nigerian-based businesses are moving offshore from fintech to manufacturing, you know, and there's been lots of acquisitions too. Foreigners are coming into Nigeria to either purchase shares in Nigerian businesses or come to establish fresh businesses. So the need for professionals to carry credentials that are acceptable globally is very important. And so it is not just about carrying credentials, but being able to understand global best practices and apply them is crucial in business operations. You know, that is one of the reasons why you as an HR professional needs to carry a foreign HR credential. And that reason is because we are mobile beings. We could move, change our locations. So it's important you carry a credential that if you decide to step out of Nigeria, wherever you find yourself, you'll be very much relevant as an HR person. Okay, so business trends, globalization, relocation, the one we call JAPA and others. So it's very important that even if you have the local HR qualification or credentials, you should carry an international one that would make you relevant, either in multinational companies in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, so that you can speak the same language and apply the same practices as other professionals. Now, I've listed here two HR qualifications, international HR qualifications that are most popular, around the world. We have two bodies, basically. We have the HRCI, the Human Resource Certification Institute, and the Society for Human Resource Management. These are two bodies, the two most important HR certification bodies in the world today. That if you are looking at carrying an international HR credential, then you should consider any of them. The HRCI, Human Resource Certification Institute, has the Associate Professional in Human Resource International, which is basically the entry level. I'll explain more in details. Then they also provide the Professional in Human Resource International, the PHRI, the popular PHRI is from HRCI. And then we have the SPHRI, Senior Professional in Human Resource International, and the GPHR. Okay, these are 4 credentials issued by the HRCI for people who live outside the US. It's a US certification body. You'll see something interesting about the names. They have this international. So for instance, the associate, the APHR. Now in the US, if you are residents in the US or practicing in the US, you would be more marketable if you take the associate professional in human resources, the one without the international. But for us who are offshore and looking to practice in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, specifically outside US, it's advisable you go for the international certifications. So they have created replica of the certifications that included the I for those who be learning offshore, right? So we also have the Society for Human Resource Management. They have the SCP, the Senior Certified Professional, and then the Certified Professional, the CP. Okay, like I mentioned earlier on, kindly drop your questions in the chat box. At the end of my presentation, I would look at them and hopefully answer all the questions, depending on the time, how much time we have. So I would go into more details on how you can sit for any of these qualifications and certify only in your first attempt. Now, one thing that is crucial, if you look at my screen to the left, I have listed the credentials you saw in the previous slide. Okay, and in the middle screen, I've listed what the holders of these certifications would practically be doing in the workplace. Those who take the associate, the APHRI, is the entry level. Okay, so they don't need too many qualifications. Without a degree, you can write the associate. If you have a degree too and you don't have any experience, then you can take the associate professional. And then the professional in human resources international is for middle level managers, those who perform core HR functions, the operations. If you perform core HR functions in your organization, say you are a hiring manager, you're into learning and development, you're a training manager, you perform appraisal and other functions, core HR functions, then the right certification for you is the PHRI. That's the training. It has about 6 modules, and each of these modules treats the HR functional areas in detail. And then the third one, which is the SPHRI, they are for executives, HR executives that formulate policies for the organization, because it's expected that at that level, you have a good understanding of the labor law in the country where you operate. So if you are taking the SPHRI, it's expected that you're in Nigeria, it's expected that you understand the Nigerian labor law, so that you'll be able to formulate policies in line with government regulations and the size of your organization, policies that are accurate to the nature and scale of business operations that your entity involves in. And then the GPHR, the Global Professional in Human Resources. For these executives who acquire this credential, would demonstrate their expertise in multinational HR responsibilities, okay, including HR policy formulations as well. So as you go higher, the policies will come in. You need to know your labor law. You need to know strategic HR. You make business decisions in line with other managers. So the credential is actually higher than the PHRI. Now, on the right part of my screen is eligibility. And this is one key part in passing your HR certification in one sitting. Now, most times I've seen professionals call Google and they want to write this exam. Maybe they saw this friend of theirs or they were surfing the internet and they saw the SPHRI. I want to write SPHRI. Now, one easy way to fail the certification exam is to take the certification exam that you are not qualified for. Now, these exams they are professional, they are technical. You know, it's not like our conventional degree courses that you would sit down, memorize formulas and theories and go and write. No, they are highly technical. The exams will require that you have some pre-knowledge of the operations of HR before you can pass, because when you get into the exam hall, you will see case studies, simulations, and they come in various shapes and sizes that will test your previous experience. So it's important that you sit for the exam that you are qualified for. Okay, so if you say you have a first degree and you have only 2 years experience in HR, then you cannot take the SPHRI. You will take the PHRI. Okay, so because it requires experience to pass the exam. And what you're going to do afterwards when you acquire the credential would also require previous knowledge of HR, because at the higher level, you would have to formulate policies. So for you to be able to formulate and implement policies that would help your business grow, you need a good understanding. So one key factor in passing your certification exam is to enroll for exam for which you are qualified to take. Without you having the experience, it will be very difficult to pass the certifications. Okay, so the associate professional, you do not require any experience. The exam is lighter. For the professional, you need to have at least a first degree and 2 years experience. Sorry, 4 years, 2 years experience in people management. Okay, I call it people management because even if you are not working in the HR department and it depends on the structure of your organization, but you lead teams. Let's say you lead a marketing team or a CRM team. Once in a while, you perform activities like appraisal, you may be involved in recruitment, you may be involved in several HR functions, and you carry on these activities for a couple of years. Then you have the experience to be able to write the PHRI. And so if you have a first degree and at least 2 years experience, then you can take the PHRI. The same way it applies to someone who has a diploma, and you should have at least 4 years experience before you can take the PHRI. Then if you have a master's degree, the advice is to work on getting the SPHRI certification. But if you have only about 1 year experience in HR, then and you have a master's, the right qualification for you would be the PHRI. It's not on the screen, but that's for the records. So like I mentioned earlier on, a key factor in passing your certification exam, because it's highly technical, It requires some previous experience to be able to understand the questions, interpret them, digest them, and provide the right answer. So you pick the certification that meets your experience. As you progress in the HR practice, then you can go for the higher qualifications. Although you do not require one to get the other one. You must not have the APHRI to be able to take the PHRI or have the PHRI to be able to take the SPHRI. Whichever one you qualify for, you go ahead and get it. You know, one does not need to carry all the credentials, no. If you get one with your experience and other qualifications as an HR professional, you are good to go. All right, now, once you've been able to get the credential that fits your experience, the next important thing to look out for is the right certification preparation provider. Now, I've listed a few things on the screen, and I'll tell you the difference. One is approved provider. HRCI has what we call approved providers. Approved providers are those who organize HR events like the one we are attending this evening. And so anybody can be an approved provider if you organize HR events. Okay, so all you need to do is to write to HRCI, inform them of your events, and provide them evidence that you're doing an HR related event, and pay the necessary fee. You become an approved provider, you know, and you'll be able to issue HR certification units at the end of the day. Now, most approved providers go into training too. They are not certification preparation providers, okay? Kindly note, they may not have the right material and experience to help you pass, even when you yourself have the experience and the academic qualification to sit for the exam. Approved providers may not have the required experience and ability to be able to train you to pass and also register you for the exam. Okay, so anybody can be an approved provider. For you to be able to learn in confidence and pass your exam, get all you need to get to pass your certification exam in one sitting, then you need to train with a certification preparation provider, CPP, okay? CPPs are those who have an understanding with the HRCI to be able to prepare people for certification exams. They would have the right team, they will have the right experience, and they will also have access to the back office to register you for your exams. On the HRCI portal, one can easily go and enroll, but certification preparation providers know how to help you gain approval for your application easier, you know, because HRCI conducts random audits on exam applications. And so certification preparation providers know how to help you get your application approved in time, right? Please kindly note that for you to pass your exam, you need to find a CPP and train with a CPP, not an approved provider. All right, so if now CPPs can also be approved providers, okay, because remember I told you it is not very difficult to become an approved provider, but it is more rigorous to become a certification preparation provider because you have to present your trainers for evaluation by the certification body. You need to provide your training materials, they will scrutinize and do a whole lot of work before they can accept you. Now, there are also material providers. If you're going through a certification preparation provider, then they would have the right materials. They should have the right materials for you to pass your certification exam. Okay, but there are key things you need to know about these international HR bodies. Now, a typical example is the HRCI. HRCI is not into the business of training, okay? What they own is the accreditation as an institution to certify HR professionals. And so they own the accreditations, they own their certificates, right? Now the training, they contract the training out to certification preparation providers. they do not also own materials. So another set of people develop the materials for studies. Then they also have article writers and examiners. Then the test is conducted by an independent body, the test providers. At the moment, they test with Pearson VUE, okay, in few locations in Nigeria: Lagos, Abuja, Asaba, Ibadan, and Kaduna also. So for you to be able to pass your HR certification in one sitting, it's important for you to note that HRCI associates with different professionals. Let me give you a typical example. For instance, the examiners. You do not know which examiner will set the question that you write. Assuming you are an HR person in manufacturing, and you spent a lot of years in your industry, I'm sure your language, the way you talk, the way you write, is something you write in line with your industry. The jargons you use will be your industry jargons. Okay. If an HR examiner from, say, Agric sets the question the day you write, you know, the jargon and the tone of the questions will be in a different direction. So it's important that you, the HR person seeking to write the exam, is fully prepared. Okay, so that's why you should find a provider who would provide you with the right materials, the right knowledge, and provide you with the necessary guidance to be able to understand the subject. Okay, so that however the question comes, in any direction it comes, you'll be able to decode it and provide the right answer. Okay, so note that HRCI works with independent bodies. Clarion College is an independent body. We are certification preparation providers. So we source for our materials to train our students. Okay, and so even the examiners are different. The test centers operate on their own. Material providers are on their own. So it's important you find a training institute like Clarion College to do your training, so that at least you'll be sure that you're getting the right tool. You're being prepared with the right material, recent material, to be able to pass your exam in one sitting. Now, another thing I would like you to note is the certification preparation provider and the trainers will do their best in classroom. In Clarion College, we do both weekend and weekday trainings. Our weekend trainings run for 6 weekends. Okay, so when the teacher finishes his work, a good part of the work would be that of the students. I've had some lazy students, and they are the reason why we cannot boast of 100% success rate. You know, we can only boast of about 98 to 99%. So some students would finish learning and they think they are good to go. No, I've always advised that you need to make a special time to study the manuals. Like I mentioned earlier on, the PHRI has about 6 modules. The SPHRI has 4 modules. These are voluminous, okay? The trainer in class may not be able to cover into details everything you need to know, okay? So you need to devote time to do your personal study. Okay, so what we advise our students is, after the training, we advise you to have a study plan. And this has worked for most of our students. In fact, the 98%, 98, 99% of students who have had success training through us. Wow, I personally advise them to do at least 1 hour every day. Some are busy parents who have kids, they go to work. And so I advise them to drop a calendar, at least 1 hour every day. You know, let the family members know that this is my study time. If you're taking 9 p.m., the kids, they know that by 9 p.m., mommy, daddy will be learning. And so you enter your closet, shut the doors, and study for at least 1 hour. By the time you do this religiously for about 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you should be fine and ready to write your exam. Because by then you would have been customized, you would have become familiar with the jargons, the technicalities in the HRCI exam patterns, okay, so that wherever the examiner is coming from, you'll be able to understand. It's important that you make out a study plan and stick to it, okay? And work on yourself privately for at least 2 to 3 weeks. If you're able to do this 1 hour every day, you would have success. I would like to go back again and remind you, first, you choose a qualification for which you have experience that will make it easier for you. The fastest way to waste your money and come back and rewrite will be to go for a certification that you are not qualified for. So kindly note, you must take the qualification that you're qualified for. And so when you make your inquiries, kindly listen to those whom you'll be speaking with while they advise you best. They will ask you for your highest academic qualification and current HR related work experience. Please provide what you have so that they can direct you. And then choose the right training provider who has access to recent materials that students would use to pass. So then you need to have good study ethics, okay? Draw up a personal calendar. And in Clarion College, what we do is that we also have tutorial groups online, okay? So as you do this personal study, we have at least 2 certified trainers in each of the tutorial groups. So as you do this personal study, you come across something that you do not understand, you can drop your question and our consultants will respond and guide you. Okay, so after doing this, then yeah, I wrote that you religiously attend your interactive sessions. Good. Another key thing is you find we're all busy, right? So some people would pay for classes and they will attend 1, 2. The next one, they'll tell you they are going for a funeral or they are going for a wedding. No, it's not advisable. Even though in Clarion College, we record all our training sessions and make it available to the students after the training, in addition to the learning management system that we provide. So we give 2 things. We have recorded our courses and we uploaded them into our learning management system for students to take. In addition to that, we also provide the recording of the live classes. Okay, even though we provide those classes, it's important that you participate yourself and ask questions. You can join in online or you attend in person. Okay, so we advise that it's only 6 weeks. Once you make your commitment, please attend classes in full. You can postpone other engagements so that you can listen to the certified trainers, share their experiences, share tips on how they themselves pass their exams, and you would ask them questions, they will guide you. Make out time for personal study like I have explained, and then stick to the right material. Funny enough, students are always students and they try to be smart. It's not their fault completely because, for instance, they may have a colleague at work who took the prep classes and qualified, say 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and the friend would share materials with them. They will go to LinkedIn, pick some, go on Google, pick some. We strongly discourage that in our institute. I plead with our students to stick to the materials we give them. Don't waste your money buying other things. There are things online, $50, $20, they might be cheap. Some of you are millionaires. You don't need to go hunting for materials. Stick to the right materials. That's all you need to pass your exam. Don't worry, don't waste your time and resources studying things that are irrelevant. Okay, so if you stick to the right materials that are recent, given by a certification preparation provider that is accredited, I'm sure you'll pass. So stick to the right materials. Don't be tempted to buy anything online or just buy things online because there are lots of reviews. No, the materials we give are tested and trusted. Okay, there are things that have been helping our students succeed. So it's important you train with a center that makes it easier and cheaper for you because the payment you pay, the one-off fee, covers for your in-person classes, the interactive classes, whether in person or online, virtual classes, the study materials that you get is all inclusive. So we plead that you stick to those study materials. Then we also have practice text questions. Now, the international HR exams, the exams are computer-based, okay? And you agree that Nigerians or Africans, our speed most times is not very fast with typing and use of computers. So we in our institute have developed a prototype of what the live exam looks like. Okay, so students, for you to be successful, you need to practice with a portal that mimics the live exam. Okay, so the advantage of using such systems is that you would work on your speed, because the HRCI live exams at time, you need to answer the right questions within specified period of time. Okay, so our assessment portal would help you work on your speed as an individual. Maybe the first time you try it to practice, you may not finish the questions and it will log you out. But as you continue, your speed improves, because by then you would have understood how the pattern of the exams, the structure that the examiners take, you would understand it, so your speed will improve. You understand so you understand the pattern the exams come, your speed will improve, your accuracy will also improve over time. Okay, so these are the things we have built in our system to mimic the live exam. And that thing you should avoid when studying for international HR certification exam is avoid people that tell you that there's past question. There is no past question. I've been in this business for more than 10 years, and I can tell you, because of the way the exams work, they work through test centers, okay, like Pearson View. So people are not able to get to the back end to assess the questions and sell to you as past questions, no. And even you, the student who goes to test, you will not remember the questions verbatim to come and record and share with someone else. But there are practice questions, okay? We've been able to understand how these questions work and develop practice questions to help you pass. So there is no past questions. Avoid people that tell you that there is past questions. It does not exist to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so these independent exam bodies, if they make the past questions available, they are creating competition for themselves. Okay, so there is no past questions. You can't access it. And the bad news is that if one does not pass his exam in one sitting, you have to stay for at least 90 days before you can resit. That is done so that you will not see any familiar question the next time you're coming back. Okay, so forget the gist that there is past question. It does not exist. What you can find are practice questions, and you need practice questions that are good, okay, that are timely. Practice questions that were used in 2021 or even January, February this year are no longer relevant. Okay, so as time goes on, we update our practice questions. We study the trend, and we're able to get good questions for our students so that as they get in, they're able to pass in their first attempt. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I would like to, because of time, I would like to take your questions at this time, and then if you have any question, kindly raise your hands, or you can drop them in the chat box for me to respond to. Okay, so I'm expecting your questions. Good evening, Monisola. I see your chat. Please drop your questions. I will respond. Okay. So the HRCI questions or these exams are jealous. You need to make time for them. You need to commit resources by investing in the training. And then the next resource is time. Okay, you don't just enroll and sit back and expect the trainers to write the exam for you. No, you need to learn hard, you need to work hard. It's a jealous exam. So when things are jealous, you also take them preciously. All right. So how much, the first question is here, how much does it cost to train and get registered for exam? Okay, so the fee depends on which qualification you want to take. At the moment, the associate professional, the fee is 80,000 naira. That's the APHRI, the one that does not require you to have a degree or experience. HR experience. Now, the one that requires at least first degree or higher diploma and 2 years experience, the PHRI, the training fee is 100,000 naira. But for people who are coming to train through Oluyemi and this HR network, we are giving some discounts to the training fee. So you will not pay the face value of what others are paying. And even the exam fee, okay, we have given great discounts to those who come through this network as well. So for instance, the APHRI, we're writing off 5,000 naira from the 80,000, so that's about 5,000 naira. And then for the exam, instead of paying $270, students that are coming through him are paying only 250 for the 250 USD for the APHRI. Now, for the PHRI, they are paying only $300, and for the SPHRI, they are paying only $400. Ordinarily, we charge $450 for the SPHRI. The PHRI, we charge 350 USD, but you will be paying 300 and 400 and 250, depending on the qualification. Then for the GPHR, you'll be paying 600 USD. Okay, so all of these discounts are available to people who come in through this network. So training fee for APHRI is 75,000 naira for you. PHRI would be 95,000, and then the SPHRI instead of 110,000 will be 105,000 naira. Okay, so you pay the training fee in naira and pay the exam fee in dollar. We do not like to worry about black market, so we have a dollar account, and we don't want to cheat you because you may be able to buy the dollar cheaper than what we'll get it. So we prefer that you get your dollar from whatever source you have, and then remit into our USD accounts. Then your exam registration will be done. All we need is your CV, your updated CV that has your exam, your academic qualifications, and your highest work experience. Yeah, and we'll be able to do the booking for you. If you're in Lagos, you can take the exam virtually any day except Sunday. Okay. In Lagos State, there are several centers. There's a center in Sulere. There are 3 centers in Ikeja. I think there's one in Ilupeju. So the centers are many in Lagos. So virtually every day. If you are outside Lagos, and then last week, they recently added a center in Abuja. In fact, we've had challenges registering our students in Abuja. We had these students who, since July, we've not been able to get dates for them because the only one center in Abuja was filled till November. Yeah, that was all we could see in the portal. So I had to do several emails to HRCI, and Juama accepted. So we were able to get an additional center in Abuja. So good news, people in Abuja have 2 centers. I think it will be easier to get a schedule for them there, although we can't assure of writing every day because it is when the portal is open, you book them. People are writing, not just HR exam, other certifications. So the demand is high. But in Abuja, I think then in Kaduna is only 1 center, in Ibadan 1 center, Asaba 1 center. But the rush in these centers outside Lagos is less. So because of the rush in Lagos, that's why they created several centers and they're able to serve. So in Lagos State, you can do your booking today and write in 4 days time or even 3 days time, depending on the rush. But outside Lagos, you need at least 2 weeks to be able to, 2 weeks ahead, to when you want to write your exam. All right, so that was me responding to the first question, and I think I said other things. Okay, so thank you, Sarah, for listening. Now, Monisola is saying for the L&D professionals, can you please expand on foreign relevant certifications? Yes, Monisola, I guess you came in earlier. Foreign relevant certifications are what we listed earlier on. I mentioned 2 popular bodies, the HRCI, Human Resource Certification Institute US, and then the Society for Human Resource Management. They provide the HRCI provides, let me go back to that slide, the APHRI, the PHRI, and then the SPHR and GPHR, okay? While the Society for Human Resource Management provides the certified professional, the CP, and the senior certified professionals. Now, if you look at my screen, The requirements for the PHRI is similar to that of the CP, while the requirements for the SPHRI is also similar to that of the SCP. Okay, so the qualification you take depends on your highest academic qualification, and sorry, the certification you take depends on your highest academic qualification, that your diploma, higher diploma, first degree, or master's degree, okay? And then when you have that, how many years experience you have in people management or HR practice, okay? So adding these two together would determine which qualification is right for you. And I advised earlier that you should not just go for a qualification, okay? It's important to sit for the exam for which you're qualified so that you can pass. The essence of writing this exam is not to gain experience as a result of failing, okay? You don't want that experience. So get your experience before you enroll so that you pass, right? Yeah, and that's the goal, pass in one sitting. So Monisola, I don't know if I was able to help, but this recording will be uploaded in the YouTube, and so you can go back and see it. But this is the screen you see on the board. Okay, so for the foreign certifications, you can either take the Associate Professional in Human Resource International, you can take the PHRI, the CP, the SPHRI, SCP, GPHR, depending on which you qualify for. Okay, so on my right-hand side are the different qualifications, okay? So kindly look at it afterwards. All right, so let me move to the next question. When are the exams? What's the location of the Abuja Preparation Center? Okay, how long is the training for SPHRI? Let me answer one by one. The first one, when are the exam? The exam is all year round, right? It's all year round. All year, the whole year. Any day in the year that is not Sunday, all year round, you can write. But it's important to, the exam, it's not like crayfish that you go and pay and buy. You need to book ahead, okay? Because the test centers are testing for several exams. So you book your exam, secure a date that is favorable for you, and then you go take your exam. So it's available all year round except Saturdays and Sundays and public holidays, rather, that the exam provider center will be locked because of public holiday. Okay, so where is the exam center in Abuja? Let me just pull my email out and read. This was updated on the 21st of this month. That was yesterday, right? Today is 22nd, I guess. So the new center there's one. I'm in Lagos, so I'm not very familiar with Abuja. But the new center is at Management Edge, suits A03 to 06, Minor Courts, plot 252A, Herbert Macaulay Way, Central District, Abuja. So that's the new center. I think the first center was in Wuse also. So they're around Abuja Central, that's Central. So that's where it is. So how long is the training for SPHRI? The SPHRI training is for 5 Saturdays, okay? The SPHRI has 4 modules. So what we usually do is to train 1 module per day, okay? But there's an overshoot of 1 day so that any of the modules we could not cover, we will be able to cover in the additional 1 day, okay? Our time frame for training is usually from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, so it's usually interactive. You can get in. We have a training center in Jabi. We are at Suite 108 MKK Plaza, number 22 IT Bani Street, Jabi. Okay, so that is our Abuja office. You can go there and make your inquiries or you receive your trainings weekday or weekend. Okay, and then you take your exam. We'll schedule you. I'm the one who does the exam booking for my college. So I will certainly meet you when the time for your scheduling comes. We'll have to talk to be able to get a favorable day for you so that we'll not schedule on a day that you'll be busy or engaged. Okay, so thank you, sir, for the information. Kindly inform us the prices and dates of the exam. Okay, so I've discussed dates, all year round, except Sundays and public holidays. I'm sure you understand why public holidays, it wouldn't happen. Then price. Okay, so I had said this before, and please, you can watch the playback afterwards. APHRI for you is 250, PHRI 300, SPHRI 400, GPHR 600 for you, right? Okay, and then the training fee too, you have some discounts. I think that solves it. Then I want to specialize in L&D, not core HR. Okay, what do you call L&D? Is it learning? Oh, learning and development. Okay, great. So for learning and development, yes, you can specialize in it. The thing is, you carry the qualification and then you specialize. You can narrow down. Like I am an HR professional, and I have my areas of core competence. Mr. Oleyemi has his area of specialization. Well, you can be a generalist, but you still have areas where you are strong. Okay, so if you want to specialize in learning and development, good for you. Work on it with experience. Okay, but you need a professional certification to back you up. To the best of my knowledge, there is no professional certification singled out for learning and development. However, you should get one of the international HR certifications and possibly the local ones, and then you can belong to some training organizations. Okay, there are lots of institutes that where people who are into learning and development belong to associations. So you associate with them, attend events, meet professionals with higher experience, and they would mentor you. Okay, so there is no singled out qualification or certification for learning and development. Get the global certification, whichever you qualify for, and then build your experience in your area of interest. That is what I did. Okay, so I do learning and development, okay, the most, but I also have competence for other areas. Okay, so that is how it is for all of us. I can tell you in confidence, all HR professionals have areas of their specialty. A couple of times, I think I've contacted Mr. Iluyemi on something I know he's strong on. Okay, and that's how we collaborate. So you find someone who is stronger than you in one aspect and collaborate with the person so that you can share the fun. The joy will be full for all of us. All right, so the next one is, please, when is the next exam for PHRI? Are you asking for training or exam? The exam is all year round. The next training, I don't have the date offhand, but you can contact me in my detail. My phone number is 081-4648-5946. A WhatsApp chat, then I could supply you the training schedule. Or you can shoot us a mail, support@clarongr.com. We'll send you the training schedule. Okay, so when you write your exam is after your training. So when you finish your training, then you now begin to talk of when the next exam will be. Okay, because you can't fix exam before training. Then must we write the exam in centers like Pearson View? Yes, if you're in Nigeria. Now, other countries are able to test from their home, but they don't trust us that much. Okay, I don't know why, but as long as you're in Nigeria or Africa today, yes, Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and few other places that have accreditation to test, you would go to a test center to write. In the US, you can test from home. Yeah. Can't we write it from the comfort? No, if you are in Africa. Thanks. Vivian is asking, what does it take to write PHRI? Vivian, please, can you make time to watch the recording afterwards? The minimum you need is a first degree, right? Or higher diploma. And then the minimum you need is 2 years work experience. Once you have above or a degree or HND, and then 2 years minimum experience, you qualify to take the exam, to take the training and exam. Okay. Somebody said, good evening. Good evening, sir. Abimbola is saying, thank you for the presentation, sir. I have master's degree in English. I've been practicing since 2017, and I'm currently an HR admin. Am I going to take the SPHR or last or the last one, global HR? Well, I recommend SPHRI, okay? For me, the global is best for people who are involved in multinational companies, right? Where you get to deal with different labor laws. For instance, your company, you say you work in a company like Unilever, UK, Nigeria, several other countries. The labor laws in all of these countries vary. So you should be able to, taking the JPHRI will benefit you more, okay, because you're dealing with cross-border and multinational. But if you, and again, some of the HR professionals in this, already in these multinational organizations may not have the GPHR. So if you have it outside and you're coming in, it might be a threat. So to be safe, I recommend that you go for the SPHRI, except you are in the multinational company already. Okay, so I am even the HRCI values the SPHRI above the GPHR. Okay, it is for senior professionals who deal a lot with policies, who formulate, implement policies, and manage other functional HR executives. Okay, so my answer for you would be direct. Let me put your name, Abimbola. Please go for SPHRI. I don't know where you work, but if you fall under what I explained earlier on, granted that you are not in a multinational company, please take the SPHRI. Please help send the price breakdown here. Wow. Okay, so can you send the mail to support@clariongr.com or hit me personally on 081-4648-5946. I'll be able to price breakdown. I'll be able to send that to you, okay, via WhatsApp. Or you can contact Mr. Luyemi. We will share the information through him, whichever one is convenient for you, okay? How long is the training? Depending on the training, Sunrayo. The SPHRI is 5 Saturdays, or 5 days. If you do weekdays, is a 5-day stretch. The SPHRI 5 years, the PHRI 6, the APHRI 5 to 6 sometimes, depending. All right, so thanks, Hugo, for the lecturer. Thank you, Modili, for staying put. I also read in HRCI website that there will be need to rewrite the exam if some points are not met. Could you shed more light on this? I think this is talking about a certification, because the points, if you don't miss the points, you fail. It is pass or fail exam. You're not getting 20% and coming back to get 30 and no. So the points they are talking about are issued by approved providers, if you remember, okay? So to have your qualification, once you pass, you need to continue to have HR certification units. So you attend events or you prove when the time comes that you are practicing, okay? So once you're able to demonstrate by supplying evidence that you've been practicing HR, you will be recertified. So these points are basically for a certification. Yes, you need points to still maintain your certification. Please help me with the cardinal address. Wow. You see, if getting the address to the test centers is not relevant, because even the test centers may not be able to book you for the exam. You book for the exam through the HRCI backend portal. Okay, so if you're in Kaduna, when you take your training and you pay your exam fee, in the process of booking you, you will see the test center. There's no need, they don't know anything regarding to your practice. Their business is testing. So once you get there, you sit with your computer, you test, and you go. Whatever exam you're testing for might not be their business. So there might not be any need to visit them or call them or make inquiry. Okay. Like I said earlier on, what you need to know, they are available all year round except Sundays and public holiday. Okay. If you need it badly, please reach me. I think later on I can find the center. I was able to read out the other one in Abuja because it's something I helped initiate yesterday, and it's still fresh in my email. So I live in Lagos, so I don't keep all the addresses in my head. Okay, yes, that's Chidima. Yeah, Chidima is our admin. She has dropped the address for the Abuja office. You can all look into the chat room. What is the pass mark? Okay, so the pass mark depends on which qualification you are enrolling for. I think this slide goes beyond this. Let me quickly see. I have, yeah, I think I have good. So on this screen, it has the pass mark. Okay, so to pass the APHRI, you need at least 72%. The PHRI is about 115 questions in all, and the time you are given to write all of these questions on my screen. The APHRI 90 seconds, 90 questions, sorry. You need to finish in 1 hour, 45 minutes. PHRI 115 questions, 2 hours, 45 minutes. The SPHRI 140 questions and 3 hours, 15 minutes for the bosses. Okay, so the pass rate, that's our pass rates, and then the pass mark 72 minimum. All right. Are the certificates renewable or one-time certification, please? They are renewable after 3 years, but you must not spend money to renew. You don't need to come back to us. Okay. There are lots of free events online. So just find them and attend. Okay, they'll give you the certificate. You continue to, and now HRCI will be banking those certificates for you until you have enough. So find free events, attend them. If you don't have time for events, as long as you're practicing HR, you do HR role, you perform HR roles. When the time comes, provide evidence that you've done some things, like you've recruited, you provide evidence that you've done things like that, you'll be able to maintain your certification. You must not pay, okay? So some institutes will tell you that you should come back and take, we love you, we are good people, we are God-fearing. So but if you want to come back and train again and get satisfied, yeah, but we have bills to pay too. All right, so thank you, sir, for the information section. Oluchi is saying for the learning and development questions, the colleagues should join. Yes, so somebody has recommended NITAD or also go to CMD Lagos. Great. All right, could you please drop your contacts? Yes, I've done that severally, and Francisca has also dropped it. support@clarongr.com. There physical trainings for GPHR? Yes, we do. Chukura, Jean. Yes, we do. Please let us know when you want, which month will be convenient for you so that we'll share the schedule with you. Then soon, no, 08146485946, right? Okay, please, I try to pick all calls, but you could drop WhatsApp messages or SMS. I'll respond. Just tell me where you're coming from, and I'll treat you like a chief or queen that you are. All right, are the questions objective or theory? Yes, they are objective questions, but like I said, they are case studies, okay? They are simulations, some carry diagrams, but you will be made to tick objective, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, and then another, good, you just reminded me. When you write your exam, you sit in the exam hall to write. If you don't know the answer to a particular question, you can flag it and continue, right? So when you finish the ones you know, then you now come back, okay? So that's another advice I give, okay? So kill the ones you can kill and then come back later on. Don't waste time. Remember, it's timed, okay? Don't waste your time struggling. Just finish what you can finish and then come back and complete. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Isaiah. Okay, so we have Abimbola again. Abimbola, this is a direct, oh, is this moving or not? Okay, so, oh, that's the end of the question. Yeah, so thank you, guys, for your questions. By my time, it is 8:29. Except you have any other question. Otherwise, we would end this meeting. Yeah, objective. We'll end this meeting, and then the recordings will be made available on YouTube for you to watch. So they are objective, not theory. Nelly is raising her hand. Nelly, so what I'll do is that I will unmute you to ask to unmute. Okay, so I've asked to unmute. Please unmute yourself, Nelly.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Hi,
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Yeah.
This was so insightful. Please, I have a question. what if it's a situation where someone wants to study by themselves but register under Clarion? Is that open? Is that an open, or is it something that you're open to, like register and then supply materials as opposed to coming for the classes? Is there a payment for that aside?
Like you don't want to attend classes, you want to do home study?
Yes, home study, but with your materials.
Wow, dicey.
Okay.
Are you very
There's no
confident?
option for that.
Yeah, it's something we don't do. But are you confident, Nelly, or you want to? Do you have a lot of money to throw around? Maybe fail and come back.
No, it's a question. Not
Okay, okay,
necessarily that that's what I want to do. Say
okay,
if you're
okay.
not flexible enough, or you
Yeah.
have a situation where you
No,
can't
the
come to
truth is,
class.
that home study is an option any day. Okay. We are in for it, but we want you to succeed, Nelly, or anybody to succeed. We provide attending classes is not compulsory. You can do home study. We have our learning management system where we've recorded training. We can give that to you. Once you pay, you get access to the learning management system. You get access to the books. You can do that. Yeah, sure, you can. But it's important you attend. We would like you to pass. We would like you to pass. So home studies is a workable thing if you're very confident. Thank you, Nelly. And that person is raising hands. So remember, what brought us together is how to pass your certification exam in one sitting. That's what we're discussing, right? So my response, especially the last one, is to help you pass in one sitting. Try to attend classes. But where you don't have the time, you can always do home study. Okay. Shaun, please unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I'm in a similar situation to Nelly's. I heard about Clarion quite late, but I'd like to register for the exam. So how would that work?
Okay, so shoot us an email, but you may not be able to get the same discount that those who paid for trainings are getting. Okay. Now, the truth is that as certification preparation providers, we buy the exam cheaper than what you buy it from HRCI website. For instance, if you are to write the PHRI and you go straight by yourself to the HRCI website, it is around, I think it's about 400 and, sorry, PHRI should be 390 something about that. Okay, but we get it cheaper. Okay, and we extend this discount to our students. Yes, you can register with us, but what we'll give you will still be lower than what HRCI will give you directly. It's possible. We can always work things out. But be sure not to get the same 300 that these guys are getting. Yeah, so that we can pay our children's school fees. I'm sure you understand, Cheryl. All right, so who else? No hands are up. Okay, so thank you very much for attending, ladies and gentlemen. Hope to see you in another section. Somebody is asking, where is your training center situated in Lagos? I mean, we're the Clarion College. We are at number 1 at Adeboyemi Street off Allen Avenue, Ikeja. If you use Google, if you drive or whatever, just type Clarion Tech Services. That's our a sister company or a parent company. Clarion Tech Services, Google will bring you down. But we are, and in any of the locations, if you're in Abuja, just key in Clarion Tech Services, Port Harcourt, Asaba, wherever you are, Ibadan, Google will bring you down to our center. But in Port Harcourt, we are number 1 at Adeboyemi Street. It is behind former Alade Market along Allen. If you know the old Alade Market, just behind former Alade Market. That's where we are. All right, thank you. Thank you guys for attending. The recordings will be available after now on YouTube. Thank you for coming. See you some other time, hopefully in class or when we are doing your exam booking. And enjoy your evening. Bye. Bye. All right.